Greetings from beautiful planet of Hearthstone. I'm right now on my personal hangar. I created here a little resting area and little storage area as well. It's a little bit better than before, so today dropped another patch, so CIG is working pretty hard to upgrade this 2.24. But today, instead of testing and playing, I want to talk a little bit about progression and goals of the game. There was a couple of very good materials about progression recently on other YouTube channels, so I don't want to tell you about all of my ideas about progression in this game, but I want to focus on the goals. So you can act like listening to the very short podcast. You don't need to look at my ugly face, grab some drinks, snacks, and enjoy. Right now in Star Citizen we have only one type of progression, and this is money. We doing contracts for money, we doing other activities like mining or salvaging, everything for money. We are buying better ships to make more money. And if you think that we have another type of progression, and this type of progression is reputation, like this. Right now, I have no rep anywhere, almost, and what we can have if we get better and better levels of reputation, we can get right now only better contracts to make more money. So it's all about money now. But okay, if we have money-driven progression, so it's this type of gameplay is good. In my opinion, yes. Imagine you have a pretty small and cheap starter ship. You make some contracts, maybe you make some organic stuff to make more credits. You are able to buy, for example, or rent some ships like Cutlass Black and ROC, so you can make more money. Maybe you want to buy a little better ship than your starter because you want to shoot someone and because you like it. So you can buy, for example, instead of Aurora, you are flying right now with a Titan. And with your Titan you can do a little bit more activities, and you are buying medium ship, maybe KT Red, to raid bunkers much easier and faster without going back and forth from spaceport to your fighting zone. This is great. Maybe you will buy a Prospector or a Vulture. This is almost the same money, about 3 millions. You get 3 millions, you get very good medium ship or very good utility ship like Vulture. And you start to make even more money to buy even bigger ship. But this type of progression, it's little bit weird if you buy a ship like Vulture, because Vulture is pretty much overpowered right now. And I know it's a good thing because prices are pretty high, and I have my own Vulture. I making money with RMC, but I know if I make enough money to buy, for example, Constellation, I will not able to make more money in Constellation done in Vulture. So on this level, it starts to be a little bit clunky, but let's act like this type of progression is well balanced, so you are buying better ships, much better, and make more alpha USC all the way around. But what next? For what you are buying these ships, for what you are doing all of this stuff? Why you are earning so much credits? For more ships? Of course. I also want to have more ships, and I want to earn these ships because I love progression. For me, this is one of the most important things in the game. And I like other games with various type of progressions. I love RPGs and I love survival games and the building games like Space Engineers, for example. There is also some type of progression driven by crafting, building, and prospecting. You are getting better and better materials and building more complicated and more advanced structures, more advanced spaceships. You can travel further, you can mine more materials, and so on and so forth. But still, for what? To build another base? To build another ship? Of course, building is great, building is fun, but you can do this also without spending so much time on building by hand and mining materials or salvaging other structures. You can go to the creative mode and build there. It's like playing with Lego. Also, great stuff. I don't see in these two games, two great games, a goal, pretty important goal. This is the problem. And we all, of course, we can have one day in Star Citizen the proper progression driven by reputation. Of course, if reputation can give us something that you can't buy with money, so this will be a proper progression driven by reputation. Of course, maybe we will have access to the various locations gated by reputation. Maybe we will have access to the special shops or special items, pretty meaningful items, not only cosmetics, something what make a sense to fight it, to grind. We can have maybe one day skill system for our character. Maybe we will have crafting and building, two great progression loops. It will be great, of course. I want this. But why we need to do all of this stuff? To get bigger base, to upgrade our ships, to kill more NPCs? For what? This is pretty important. And for me, the great example of game that done progression system and a goal for all of this struggle and all of this grind is Valheim. You, of course, prospecting, you are getting materials, building, crafting better and better weapons and armor. You are also learning new stuff and you are better and better with your weapons and so on and so forth. But to be honest, in Valheim, the skill system is, for me at least, a little thing on top of the great sandbox progression system driven by exploration, crafting, prospecting, and building. Everything is connected in this game. But on top of this, the most important thing, why you want to do this? Because you have very basic maybe, but inspiring history. You are a dead Viking and you need to kill all of these bosses. You need to do all of these challenges to enter the Valhalla, you need to defeat and be strong enough to challenge all of the stuff that Odin brought to you to prove your worth and enter the Valhalla. And it's not only this, it's not only a legend or not only a tale or story. You really need to prepare to every boss fight, and these bosses are constantly reminding about their existence, throwing on you hordes of enemies. Again and again on your base, they want to destroy your base, and you need to protect this base. And to end all of this, you need simply to kill your enemies, the bosses. So we have a goal in this game, something you want to fight for. Of course, Star Citizen is much bigger. That's why I am right now in Star Citizen, not in Valheim. But Valheim is a pretty nice example because it's much smaller and much easier to understand. Even in very old games like Mario, for example, why are you doing all of this? Because you like to jump and eat mushrooms? Of course, maybe you want to be better and better with the game. Maybe you like the progression from the level to the level. Maybe you like to earn the points, be the best in Mario 2, for example. But the game take you at least some type of goal to fulfill. You need to rescue the princess, for example. Okay, it's maybe very, very basic and silly, but it is what it is. That this is very old game, but with some type of scope, some type of goal, some type of target. And Star Citizen have great and complicated lore, and this lore, at least in PU, is somewhat little bit hidden, and you need to little bit investigate the game, or maybe watch something and maybe read something to learn about the lore of this game. But still, it is here. I believe we can have multiple goals in this game. Maybe it will be a big threat that constantly harass your star system, and you want to prepare for another attack. Maybe you have a base and Vandul appear from time to time and want to take your land, something like this, maybe. Or maybe we have some conflict between the factions, and if you are in one factions, you need to be against other factions. So we have a connection to the reputation system. So reputation system, one of the progression systems, is pretty much connected to the goal of your game, at least in certain time. Maybe you can change your scope. Maybe you will change your goal. And why it's important? I know there is a lot of players in Star Citizen that love simple sandbox gameplay, or maybe they love PvP and they love to make their own goals, their own gameplay worth to play. They don't need complicated progression systems. They don't need any of this lore related goals and so on and so forth. But a lot of players want this and need this to learn about the world, to learn about the game. Maybe they will play sticking to the goals related to the game lore, related to the game events and progression. But then if they are good enough and experienced enough, they will start to craft their own goal. That's why I love zero to hero stuff. No ship starts, no money starts to feel again this excitation about progress, about a goal. I've done a couple of challenges. I've starting with nothing, only with old clothes and half-drinked beer. And in the end, I acquire enough money to buy Arbor Raft. For example, that was my goal. And I can create other goals for myself and start over and over again. Why? Because I know pretty well the early stage of game in Star Citizen. But to be honest, we have only this. And because I know it pretty well, and I know what to do to make money as a guy without ship and without even armor, so I want to challenge myself and do this again and again, testing different game loops, maybe some organic gameplay, maybe some contract and so on and so forth, because I created my own goal for my own gameplay, but I'm only one pretty stupid player, so my goals are not that great that can be goals created by ambitious developers team. And I hope we will have this one day in Star City. As always, have a great day, thanks for watching, and if you like my videos, consider subscribe. Bye bye.